Welcome guys, Jerome here. Modus Operandi. Why most programs fail to replicate real life is that they try to teach people how to succeed instead of helping them work with failure. Well, consider the following practical experiment you may have went through several times. For the last 5 years, Donald, who is an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur or an investor, you name it, has been attending high-promising business programs and mega summit worth at least $5,000 each. Now, guess what? In practical terms, his business and life has not evolved for the better. Donald started to wonder what is wrong with himself. Be careful. Donald is a practical person, meaning a doer. In another word, he makes sure to follow the guidelines prescribed by different programs released by the predictors, meaning the forecasters or certain pseudo consultant. Well, while surfing the net, Donald accidentally discovered the blog of a website called optionalityprofit.com. Surprisingly, he immersed himself in this blog and realized the problem wasn't him, but the way he framed his question. Let me repeat again. Surprisingly, he immersed himself in this blog and realized the problem wasn't him, but the way he framed his question. But before we get to that, let me dig in these amazing eye-opener and profound findings. Indeed, Donald realized that in 2005, John Ioannidis, who is, by the way, one of the world-renowned professional researcher and statistician, proved in front of the American Statistics Association that 80% of epidemiological studies made on computer fail to replicate in real life. Let me repeat again. John Ioannidis, a world-renowned statistician and researcher, proves that 80% of epidemiological studies fail to replicate in real life. By the way, this is in 2005. We are in 2017 with the swelling of big data out there. Now, in the meantime, one of the things that I also remind you is that only 39% of psychological papers out there replicate themselves. Only 39. In other words, 61% are basically to be thrown in the bin. They don't replicate. And since then, the FDA, meaning the Food Drug of Administration in the US, has banned any research made on the computer. We call this statistical knowledge, meaning this is not experimental knowledge. This is knowledge that we get from what the computer gave us when you throw the data in the computer. Okay, now, the second thing that he discovered is that most people, regardless of their profession, skills, are victims of the confirmation bias. Meaning, the confirmation bias means taking seriously what you see and not taking seriously what you don't see. Which is okay if you live in a world that is stable and that doesn't change. We call that mediocrity, to quote it from Nassim Taleb. But in extremism, that is not the case. Third finding of Donald. Again, this is regardless of your profession and your skill. We fall victim of the law of small number. In another word, we tend to make inference in a small amount of data that we have. Let me give you a practical example. If you make money for 3 to 4 or 5 days on a profession, you feel yourself a profitable person. And by the way, you are in a profitable profession. Another way of saying it is, if you make money within 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row above average, people consider you to be a successful person. They'll even laugh at your joke, right? This is the law of small number. In another, we tend to make our inference on a small amount of data. Fourth finding of Donald: we humans are very good at narrating things back, which give us the illusion of understanding the world and therefore to be able to predict the next thing when beforehand we weren't able to predict it. Okay. Now, by the way, just to quote what F.A. Ike once said, the mind cannot predict its own advance. In another word, you cannot predict what you are going to predict tomorrow. You cannot forecast what you are going to forecast tomorrow, right? Your mind cannot do that. So, what am I saying? What I'm saying is that there are two things that are going on here. Namely, first and foremost, the accuracy of models or programs that predict or foresee your ultimate damaging effect. Keep in mind that you live long by not dying. It's, by the way, counterintuitive. It must sound a little bit weird what I'm saying, but just take the time and listen it and even read the whole script. And the second thing is that the doubt of the accuracy of these models or programs because of the lack of reliable evidence of harm to guarantee your action. What I mean by that is that you take the case of John. He has been spending tremendous amount of money and time and practice, and he is not getting the ultimate result that was predicted by the predictors, right? Where lies the problem of Donald? Well, since we are not good at knowing, we are not good at predicting, we are not good at planning, and most importantly, these two alternatives are not fully comprehensive and profound to be able to give us where the problem of Donald really lies. Okay, so we can sidestep the skepticism of those who question the existence of success program by framing risk in a most straightforward possible term. That is, we should ask, here's the most important question Donald should ask. That is, we should ask, what the correct modus operandi? Meaning, what the correct method, the correct technique be if we have no reliable program or models out there. Keep in mind, in the meantime, that there are two types of risk involved when Donald is taking his action. The first one is the risk of losing his investment, meaning his money. That's one. And the second risk here is the risk of missing an opportunity. These are the two types of risks involved in his undertaking. And by the way, that earning is a hard earning. It's not, you don't just get $5,000 that just fall from the tree. You work hard to get it in order to reinvest it somewhere else in order to get a reward on your investment. Now, are the three big ideas to pick from to take away from this podcast. Here are the 3 big ideas to take away from this podcast. First and foremost, most pseudo experts don't even know their error rate. Really, that's the first thing. The second thing is that most consultants don't know what they don't know, and as direct consequence, they cannot harvest the unknown, the unpredictable. Mistake, error, change. To put it in a sense where Jeff Bezos put it very eloquently. If someone tried to take all failure out of a process, innovation ceases. Failure and invention are inseparable twins. Guess what? This is true and very profound. Most models out there are there to give you what? Certainty. What I mean by certainty, knowledge. They give you prediction, which most of the time turn out not to be that. Right, guys? Okay, now, let us keep going. Since the world has become more and more complex due to the fact that we are living in a fast-paced world, Optionality Profit is here to help you build a business where mistakes can occur without threatening the system, but most importantly, use as fuel for improvement. To put it in a well thoughtful way, just remember what the founder, the maverick founder of eBay, Pierre Omidyar, said. He put it this way: build a platform, prepare for the unexpected. You will know that you are successful when the platform you have built serve you in an unexpected way. Let me paraphrase it, and this is very profound. Build a business, prepare for the unexpected. You will know that you are successful when your business, when the business you have built serve you in an unexpected way. Welcome in the world of randomness, in the world of uncertainty. And guess what? If you are still watching this video till now, this podcast till now, that means you are at the right place. Yes, in Optionality Profit, we will teach you how to domesticate and milk randomness, uncertainty, since we live in the world of extremism, right? In another, as I said in one of my podcasts, we simultaneously inhabit 2 worlds: a mediocrism, which is a world that is stable and that doesn't change, and where it is the collection of the regular that dominate. Hence, the world, the Pareto law, meaning the law of 80-20. It works very well in that world. But in the world of extremism, it is dominated by the rare, the unexpected, the outlier. And guess what? You can see companies out there. You can see Google. You can see Facebook. You can see bestseller out there, Harry Potter, with J.K.R. Rowling. You can see people like Brandon Bouchard or Tony Robbins, Jay Abraham. These are the outliers, right? Where the winner take all effect. Thank you guys. It was an honor to serve you, and see you tomorrow for the next one.